Hi, welcome.
Welcome to Drusillas Park.
Welcome to Drusillas Park.
This is no ordinary zoo.
It's no ordinary zoo.
He's just so cute.
I live and breathe this. I'm not interested in anything else. The natural world, animals, plants, it's all I care about. Nothing would interest me like this. I knew I wanted to do this job since I was knee high, and it's all I'll ever do.
I started off as a junior keeper, so I was given a dustpan, a brush and a bucket and told to go muck out the ring-tailed lemurs. And I looked around and went, okay, I don't even know where they are. That was my first day here.
I just think it's a nice combination of animals and outside areas for the children, and Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, it's not perhaps your typical zoo. It's obviously there's animals here and we do our good conservation work and education work, but it's a fun day out and it's great, that the two can be combined.
Drusillas Park is a thriving attraction on the south coast of England. It has won many awards in its long 90-year history.
So this is a picture of when it very first opened. Drusillas was just a tea rooms. So this is just how it originally looked.
It was started back in the mid-20s by Captain Anne and his wife, Drusilla, hence the name of the park. And they expanded it over the years. And then when Captain Anne died, which I think was the late 40s, early 50s, his son Michael took over.
My parents bought Drusillas when I was about 13 and quite excited, obviously. At 13 it was quite a cool thing. A lot of people actually didn't believe me when I told them because a few of my friends knew the park.
That's the sort of philosophy that Michael Anne started, that any children coming in learn about animals, wildlife, conservation, rather than just a fun day out.
We've been feeding the capybaras and feeding the bats, and we've been feeding the penguins in a penguin tour.
Children have got little brains like sponges, and they take so much information in and they get so much out of it. If we can send some children away from here thinking about conservation, that is the key thing about Drusillas.
Well, they're the future of the world, really, and if you can start them thinking green and thinking conservation messages from a young age, then hopefully they'll carry on this through their lives, and maybe some of them want to work in conservation in the zoo when they're older.
Drusillas is home to over 190 exotic wild and domestic species of animal. Some of them are nearly extinct in the wild. One species in particular is the Black Crested Macaque of Sulawesi.
Well, they're critically endangered in the wild. In the wild, they've got a lot against them. They come from the Sulawesi Islands in Indonesia. And out there's two religions. There's the Christian religion and the Muslim religions. And they're regarded by some as a pest and vermin.
Yeah, the habitat's been destroyed. Some people do eat them as well. And, so it's really important to have some in zoos. So, if the worst was to happen, there's some here. There still are quite a few on the islands, like Sulawesi, but the numbers have gone down.
Some of them have been poached and some have got destroyed. It's got a destroyed habitat, and some get hunted for their fur, some get hunted for food.
With many species, they are better off in captivity. The male that we've got, Motek, he's from Monkey Park in Israel, and the breeding female, she was from Chester Zoo, and then the other two were born here.
Why do you like monkeys? What, do they make the noise?
Ooh, ooh, ah, ah.
Yes, it.
They're a really high profile animal. They're very active. The public really enjoy having them at the park, especially with those huge teeth that they have, and equally because they are an endangered species.
It's important for us to raise awareness for the species, and we, with the visitors that we have and the children, starting at a young age, an impressive big black monkey with a big pink bum is going to do that.
It has loads of thick layers of skin on his bottom, because if he sits down on a prickly bramble bush, he won't hurt himself, so he would just be walking around with a cushion on his bum.
Macaques are large territorial primates, so what problems can bringing these animals together cause?
The problem is just sort of with any introduction with animals. obviously they don't know each other, don't really get to know each other like we would. So when you put them together initially, they have to find out who's the boss and who's the strongest. And you know, as we've got a male with females, he has to tell the girls that he's the boss and they have to do what he says. And just had a little few scuffles and things like that, but nothing too serious.
Motek is he's a big male, he's an impressive male, and he knows it, he's got attitude with it, but at the same time he keeps his group in good order, there's no messing about, so he'll discipline where he needs to. Kendari, she's the mum, she's a great mum, she was sort of born to have babies, if you like. She adopted Kamala. Kamala's the other baby in the group. She's not actually with her mum anymore, but she kind of took her in. Kamala herself is just at the age of playing at the moment. It's all about playing. But now that baby Tambo is here, she wants to be involved in that. So she'll try and grab Tambo by the arm or by the ear or whatever, and she's a bit rough with him because she wants to hold on to the baby. But as soon as the baby actually grabs onto her, she freaks and she doesn't know what to do. And Tambo, we're still sort of learning his traits at the moment, but typical little boy, you know, gets into mischief, wanders off into places he shouldn't, gets stuck in the branches and has to be rescued. There's so many characters with him.
It's always exciting when you've got the babies, and you know the public really like the babies, as do the keepers, of course, and it's really good for the dynamics of the groups to have the babies in them as well, because obviously that's a natural behaviour to have the progeny, to have the babies, and that's, you know, again, good part of management of the animals.
The enrichment programme of Drusillas is key for the animals in captivity, as it gives them a representation of their habitat in the wild and encourages a healthy growth.
This is the kitchen where the black macaque's diet is prepared. In captivity, many species quickly get overweight because they don't have access to the space that they would naturally have in the wild, and therefore they can have additional weight gain. So from our point of view, we try and control that a little bit more by really managing what they eat. And so there's lots of products around us that we can give to the monkeys. We have sunflower seeds, which are a big favourite, flake maize, oats, and exciting things as well. Popcorn we have here. The popcorn is very good because it's very good as a treat food, so we can enrich the animals' lives by giving them some popcorn.
I mean, the enrichment shouldn't be just a one-off thing, it should be a daily event at the park. But something like the macaques, we would give them something to enrich their lives. It could be something as simple as scattering the food around the enclosure, so they have to forage, which means they're looking through the substrate like the bark chips for the food items. This mentally stimulates them, it keeps them active. It's entertaining for the visitors, obviously, because the animals are actually looking for something in the soil, and it's also a natural behaviour because in the wild they would forage on the floor for food. Equally, they would be up in the tree foraging as well.
And what might the future hold for the Black Crested Macaque?
Ideally, as keepers, we would love to see all the animals back in the wild. You know, keepers would be the first to see the closure of zoos, if you like, because that's why we're here, for the conservation of animals and to return animals to the wild. But the world we live in is just not like that.
Some animals you see going up to vulnerable status, some you go to critically endangered, some you like to see come down to the common status. And it's lovely seeing some of those animals coming back down, and the status coming down is great.
And sort of generations further down the line, maybe they would actually get reintroduced back into sort of Sulawesi, the island where they come from.